received the goal. There's nothing to beat a win at Wembley.
Black who's going to go for it. Black for the 1 point to win the grand final for Halifax, and he's done it. Ben Black strike.
Hello, welcome to another live stream of Talking Halifax Live. Proudly sponsored by Eclipse Energy.
Eclipse Energy!
And Delivery.
Delivery!
Thanks for joining us a little bit later than usual.
Goddamn Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook changed the streaming settings. We'll see how we get on, shall we? But yes, we'll carry on. It's a live show, it's live telly, folks, live podcasting, whichever one it is. My name's Mike Haig. As always, I'm joined by my fellow gruff voice, amigo, producer, fan, Mr. Rick Farrell. How are you diddling, Rick?
Absolutely buzzing, mate.
Oh, so am I. I've got Jakeman's in my mouth. My voice, I've found parts of it from Sunday, not found all of it. Hope you're all feeling the same out there in internet land and stuff. Yes, we beat the Bulls, bashed the Bulls, 8 on the trot, safely in third, safe in that playoffs. Let's get into it. Let's start. Let's dissect that, shall we?
Please let us know you can hear us, see us, everything else.
Please do. But yeah, if we can. So let's get confirmation. We need comments first. We need to make sure we're not talking to ourselves, really. Are we? There's 16 people watching. Oh. Maybe not.
What is going on?
I'm alright fiasco here. But yes.
Sorry, folks. They've decided to change it at the last minute without telling us. So.
Yeah.
On
my thing, it's quite speeded up, to be honest. It depends on catching up. Anyway, let's... This is just what live stream it's all about, guys. Absolutely love it. There's 17 people watching anyway. But yeah. Anyway. There's only one place. There's only one place we can start. Only one place. And it is this man. Greg Worthington finally scored a try! Woo! Oh, God, that felt good. Yes, Greg Worthington. What have we been saying for the last few weeks? The Halifax number 3 scoring on the left flank to contribute towards a win for Halifax against Bradford. It was well worth the wait, wasn't it? Well worth the wait. It was a try that my grandma could have scored, really, after we'd been all putting through a nice early ball. Not sure, but yeah, so glad he's got that monkey off his back, and yeah, I'm so chuffed. I spoke to him like everyone else did at the pub on Sunday, but yeah, really good to see him get over the line, because he has been playing really well. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, he just needs to get over for the try there. What do you reckon, Rick?
Oh, I totally agree, mate. We've been saying it for weeks, haven't we, that he were finally going to show up and bash the Bulls, so to speak, do it against his Queensbury mates and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm delighted for him. He's off the nuddy. Yeah, he played well, like you say, but I'm more concerned. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yeah.
Please come and get some comments in to say that you can actually hear what we're saying and we're not just in silence, you know?
Yeah. We're kind of watching on our phones just to make sure that we've got people watching there. But yeah, just let us know, folks, because I say Facebook has decided to be silly with us and to change the way that we stream this thing. But yeah, it seems to be all right. People are liking it. Yeah, I think we're good.
And no one's saying they can hear us though. No sound or video, lads. No picture. Just in the bath, pal. Keep it clean.
Audio video working fine here. Yes, people.
Happy days.
Thank you. Right.
Let's crack on. Cheers for that.
We're good to go. So, Rick, Greg Worthington. Like this is he's going to be a top try scorer now. He's going to be like Halifax buses. You wait 12 games.
What, absolutely filthy.
Hey, if he gets his shirt mucky with the work that he does, absolutely fine. But yeah, as I said before, great to have the monkey off his back. You could tell it was sort of bothering him a little bit, the fact that he weren't getting there. Even though all the rest of his game was absolutely brilliant. He just needed to score, and he did score. And as you say, Queensbury lad, what a better team to do it against the Bulls.
And to say he's absolutely struggled and toiled to try and get over the line, I think... was it the Widnes game when he had like 4 men on his back and he was trying to force his way over the line, and then he literally gets put over on a plate. You can imagine if he'd have dropped it with a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 over.
That'd have been just the one, but there were plenty of ace visuals. Jacob Fairbank's face on that picture where he's going to score, and quite rightly he's been getting a lot of stick online with things like about time and I wonder when you were going to score and all that sort of stuff. And to be fair, we were all in the pub in Lewins after the game and that, and he took it in very, very good humour. And he was kind of echoing what we were saying ourselves, really. But yeah, so glad for him to score. Then hopefully he'll kick on for the rest of the season there.
Absolutely, mate.
Other people as well, I'd say get your comments in. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are about the game. Who are your game stars? Did you think that the forward pass to Salty to score the try? Was he offside for Liam Harris's kick? Those seem to be what John Kieran Bradford fans are saying. What do you guys reckon? Before I get into those, I want to champion our champion that we've been doing for the last 2 years, Curtis Davis. What a performance. I thought he was the man of the match. I thought Liam Harris played all right. Obviously, he got the sponsors man of the match, but I thought Curtis Davis, for allowing Brandon Moore to play his kind of game, because Brandon Moore set up the first try in the first minute or so, didn't he? Yeah. But he won the Hitman Award, but I just thought he was class. I just thought he played well above his weight. And to say he's barely played any senior rugby full stop, to put that sort of performance in from what John Keir quite rightly described as a playoff type game. Yeah. It was a right blood and thunder game. To be putting guys twice the size of him on the backside, and the amount of work he got through, the distribution from dummy half, the sniping runs he was making, I thought it was absolutely magnificent.
Absolutely, and to do it in front of your potential, I know it might be getting cancelled, but in front of the Welsh coach as well, who's going to be picking the squad, it's the perfect day to do it. But I mean, you say he got hit, man. I'm not surprised when Baldwinson, the lone prop that came in,
that Bradford veteran,
that Bulls veteran, the one that people were sort of questioning if he were committed to the team and all that sort of stuff, brought it out from the back line, and Kirk absolutely cut him in half. He must have been thinking, God, all the rest of my mates are having a weekend off here, and I'm getting absolutely levered left, right, and centre. So, but yeah, I thought distribution-wise, as we always say, was solid. Discipline as well, because you see with a lot of lads that come in after a long time out of the team that they can take a bit of time to get back to it. They might lay on a bit longer, but I thought he were absolutely squeaky clean. And I won't go as far as to say he was man of the match. I think, as I'll probably come on to, I would give that to Salt and Stall, just because I thought he had such a telling contribution on the overall result, not only with his tries, but as everyone that's watching knows, his work bringing it out from the back, he's just immense. He gets through so much, and he does so much to carry us forward, and he never takes a backward step. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd have given it Salty, but I don't think Curtis would have been too far behind him.
I agree with Salty. I think that performance from Salty kind of vindicates the reason why he's in the team, and is kind of a bit of a two fingers to the people who thought he needs dropping, because he's not a natural finisher. He's all that sort of stuff. He finished off 2 tries very well. Could have had an hat-trick, really. But yeah, I thought it was a proper modern winger's performance. And as I say, you can't fault his effort and desire for the club. And you saw how much it meant to him scoring that try at the end, or what it was. But also to the rest of the team as well. The rest of the team absolutely loved it. The slight worry that I had going into last week was that, do the players really know how much it means to us fans to put one over Bradford, but also the importance of the game as well, given the state of the table and stuff. But yeah, absolutely, they were committed. They absolutely loved it, and they were celebrating to a man there.
Oh yeah, and when Tangata threw him on the floor, they all died. I mean, absolute scenes in the stands, weren't there? So yeah. I think the fact that we've got a team full of fat lads generally, and the ones that aren't from here are sort of adopted now. Yeah. They do understand what it means to them, because Well, that just showed on the field how gutted they looked when it looked like it were getting away. But
Yeah.
we spoke to them in the pub, didn't we, after the game, and they were all saying, "Oh, we're never in danger." I'm like,
Easy saying that, Captain Hindsight.
"That's it. You had me fooled." I think I put on the Twitter like, "Why does it have to be like this every week?" Sat there shaking with adrenaline at full time. But I'll tell you what, if you bought a season ticket this year, you're getting your money's worth. I'll guarantee you that.
For sure. I must admit, even the ground, when Flanagan dropped that goal, 9 minutes to go, was it?
Like that, yeah.
I thought, right, we can have this. Because
way too early.
They basically said, right, we're shutting up shop now. You've got 9 minutes to score.
Well, to be fair to them, they shut up shop probably half an hour from the end of the game. They were driving up, kicking long. After they got that second try from the crossfield kick where we sort of couldn't get back in time, they were kicking early, they were kicking long, and they were trying to keep us down the other end. The fact that Lily went for that long drop goal with probably 15 minutes to go showed that they had nothing left in the tank. And I think more than anything, when that drop goal goes over, it's not, we don't get our nerves. We're like, right, well, we have to keep going here, rather than keeping it level towards the last minute or two and then nicking one when you get that unassailable lead. It probably did us a favour.
And I know that Liam Harris has been kind of... there's two ways of looking at Liam Harris.
Saviour.
Play
that hallelujah again. Play that hallelujah again.
Yes. But like, I think I heard that people wanted them to go for the drop goal against Sheffield, but he did a chip over the top and stuff like that. Eyes up in that. But having a player like Liam Harris in that sort of scenario won us the game, because he could have very easily gone for drop goal, but he had his eyes up, saw the overlap, dog leg defence, and spun it out. And that's exactly what Paul Cunliffe, friend of the show, said on the comments. Supreme try at the end. It was not structured in any way, shape or form. It was just a case of play with your head up, be available for a pass, execute it, and we did. And it was just an absolute quality finish there. And as I say, it's just been in those clutch moments, like it's been saying for the last couple of months. Harris is in those clutch moments against Batley. Widnes is there. He's popped up, and he had that big influence on that on Sunday as well.
We were sort of saying, weren't we, in the stream last week, in the podcast that we did, about who we sort of believed would be the game breakers, and we sort of picked our halfbacks out as what.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that the two wingers would have been the two lads that literally dragged us to victory?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, McComb. Yeah, let's mention McComb. As I say, he was also in pub as well. But for him to be named on the wing, a foreign position for him, and put in the performance he did, you could argue say that he created the match-winning moment with that break that he made.
Absolutely.
And he just looked solid all game. Yeah, he was out of position for that try that you mentioned, that cross-field kick, but as I say, it's foreign position for him. And to be fair, he was probably trying to save our bacon on the other side for a try going in, really. But he'll learn, as I say, it gives Simon Griggs more selection headaches, because if you're playing guys on form, then Zach McComb had a great. I think he's had a terrific season as Zach McComb. Anyway, regardless, I think he's been very unlucky to miss out when he has been dropped, because he's not done anything wrong really, and he's played really well. But his performance on the wing on Sunday, it gives us an extra dimension that we didn't necessarily knew that we had.
It's another one of those sort of formulas we seem to have stumbled across. Oh, we know that we can put McComb on the wing now and have success there.
Yeah,
it was solid under the high ball as the other two were at the back. The back three were outstanding, you know. Yeah, I think the Bulls fans were a bit aggrieved. They thought that Woody had knocked on at one point, sort of in the shadow of their post, but it is knee and whatever. But all afternoon long, they swallowed up, and the Bulls just went high after high kick over and over again, and they just weren't being fooled by it. They were underneath everything. Yeah. So I think his back three had a massive impact on the 2 points in the end.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And Nathan Field, that's for Jordan's Nathan. He's mentioned Wood Burnall. Yeah, I agree. He's just not having bad games at all in Wood Burnall. I still think he should be used more on those second phase balls that come across, but what he's doing is absolutely superb. Hopefully he is fit, because I think he picked up a knock in the game.
There's a few whispers he might have got a little injury there, so
but let's hope if he is, it's very, very short term, because we could definitely do with him for the running. The potential box office running that we could have, which we'll get into later on. But we'll focus on this game first and foremost. Nick Barber is watching us in the bath. Surprise, surprise. And Stephen Boyer saying they're asking to leave that duck alone. Well,
was that a Pink Floyd song?
leave that duck alone. Oh dear. Peter Wood.
Pete.
Thanks for joining us, Pete. It's been on Liam Harris try. Couldn't tell who touched it, but went back, touched Barber's foot accidentally, but Harris was behind him, so try. As regards to the final try, I think Foggin Johnson touched the ball attempting to tackle Barber and deviate the flight of the ball, so irrelevant if he went forward or not. Right. I've watched this just before we came on there because yesterday I was I
was an absolute right.
I was a shrivel of a human being yesterday, so I didn't really see much. But I just watched it again. I thought that Salty was onside for the kick. It was level at best. Nothing wrong with the kick. As you're right in saying, it was Salty that had knocked it backwards onto Barber's foot. Harris was onside. No, fine, absolute try. The last try, it did look a forward pass, but I'm going to play Steve-O here and say momentum rule. I'm also going to say that even if there were Sky cameras there, you can't check for forward passes. That's the whole reason why. Different angles.
Well, that's exactly. If you look on the Bulls one, it looks fine, and you look on ours, it looks a slightly forward.
And the most important point of all is the score was 24-20.
Absolutely.
So everything else is irrelevant. It's not necessarily fish and chip paper nowadays. It's just it's online, it's on tweets, whatever. It swings and roundabouts. How many bloody games have Bradford won in the past through dodgy stuff? I know we're gonna have Andrew Foster going, "Oh, woe is me, Michael Withers in the grand final," all that sort of stuff. No, we're having this one. That's it. No arguments.
Get it up, you lad.
No excuses at all. Peter Wood also says they were shattered. Bradford, big forwards but not fit forwards, extended water breaks, etc. Our lads are fitter even. Our lads are definitely fitter. Spoke to Chester Butler pre-COVID. He said Griggs makes them train harder than Marshall. Our conditioning, and if he's still at the club, Andy Olliehead's done an absolutely magnificent job with him. He's, as I say, we seem to finish off games as good as we start them, and that's the holy grail for fitness, really. You don't deviate on that at all. But for us to perform both physically and mentally in those absolute crucial moments when you're going at the end of games is just absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's so good to see. And you're absolutely right there, Pete. I thought Bradford played all right. They came with a very simple game plan. They depleted in numbers. They've obviously got a lot of issues with injuries and stuff, and all they were going to do was bash up the forwards, and they named it a winger at standoff. They were just going to run, and that's how they scored the tries, really, because they just battered us down the middle. Two of their tries were incredibly soft. Well, you could argue all three of their tries were soft, really, but the third one I thought was all right play, but we fronted up. You can't not. The Bradford are fourth in the table, fifth in the table now for a reason. They are a good side. They've got some good players there, but ultimately, we wanted it more. I think we wanted it more. Desire told in the end, and the cream rises to the top.
I think you've got to give them a bit of respect. They actually had that link on the left that opened us a few times on the outside, and they had some real success with it in the first half, and then they just never went back to it, which I'm happy for us. But again, is that because of fitness? Is that because of personnel or whatever? I don't know.
Possibly.
But yeah, I'd pick up on your point about the gamesmanship. Every time we sort of seem to be getting on a roll, when Tangata charged that kick down, it made him go back, and then they were sending watermen on and all that sort of stuff. So we had it all against us, and we came out in the end. And as Gary says, it's that total never give up attitude the lads will get us through so many big games. I'll counter that to a point, though, where we don't seem to be playing at our best. We've still got, I think Liam Harris said, we've probably got another 3 years we can go up.
We have.
We aren't going to get away with playing poorly for long periods of time. How much possession we had, and we just couldn't turn it into points. The amount of ball that we had and passes into touch and whatever, we need to be more clinical every week now, because like I say, when we get to the playoffs, and it looks like we are going to make the playoffs now after a fantastic win like that, it's last chance saloon, and you can't afford to be playing scrappily and just getting by Like I said, can we have a comfortable lead at half time next week and not have to give me a heart attack again?
Yeah. But I could counteract that by saying that in the sign of a good side that can play poorly and still win.
Absolutely, everyone does say that. But as Grix said, eventually you'll come unstuck because you'll ride your luck a bit too much. And
True.
And the bounce of the ball, the rub of the green will go against you the other way. So.
Yeah, but you could also play yourself into form, and it's these moments where. It's those moments where you find who you are as a team, and obviously you've got to go through the battles and the witnesses and those sort of games to be able to earn the more comfortable victories, which I think are around the corner really. So hopefully that may continue. Thanks for your comment there, Gary Bray, much appreciated. Connor Robinson. Nice to join us again, Connor. Hope you are fit in the side very, very soon. He's sat on the M62. Well, there we go. It's a service we provide. We are forget Radio 1 or anything like that. Listen to Talking the Facts of Life, and if you sat on a jam on the motorway, hopefully we will entertain you. We won't have any traffic updates. All we do, it's rubbish.
You're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. It's absolutely
You're going to have
rubbish.
another M&M haircut because you like to roll dice again for being late. But
yes, stick around, Connor. What did you think? If you'll be in the game, won't you, Connor? Let us know what you're thinking. Obviously, a bit of a different perspective for you. Obviously, sat on the sidelines.
I just paid Waterbuoyant League. That's what he said Sunday.
But yeah, what did you think? Obviously, it's frustrating for you being out. What was it like for you watching the lads on the sidelines? Are you itching at the bit to get back? Or hopefully you are fully fit and in contention for selection, because what you're saying rings true actually there. In terms of, I think we need another dimension to our attack. Scott Grix has done brilliantly coming in at half back, and he's given Liam Harris a really good foil to be able to play his running game and that sort of thing. But sometimes it's like running against a brick wall. We're trying the processes and teams work it out. I think we need something different, and our kicking game is still poor. Yeah.
You think? See,
but long distance, yeah. Short. From 20 metre in, Liam Harris's kicking game is really, really good. Apart from that, I think we are still missing a trick, and that's where your man Connor Robinson hopefully will come back in and get that left peg to it. Nathan Field come back. Did anyone think we missed Gadwin after his departure to Fev? Personally, I'm glad he's gone. I think we kind of cover this really. He's a big presence and a big personality, and he has got the potential to be an absolute monster in this league, but he didn't show it often enough, I don't think.
He didn't play enough minutes on the field
for the money he's on and for the pedigree he's got. He didn't show it often enough, and I would rather have a Dan Murray who isn't as spectacular but will run his blood to water for 80 minutes and make a difference. And you're on about not. I don't think he'll miss it at all, because Dan Murray made the tackle on Lily to drop the ball to end up to Worthington score his try. Elliot Morris just performs outstanding every week. Yeah. You've got players like Connor Davis who's come in, who played really well on Sunday there as well. You've got Tangata, Fairbank who link into all that.
Matt Garside as well, another solid performance.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I don't think we'll miss him that much, to be honest, and hopefully the money that we are saving on him, because Fev will have had to pay up his contract or whatever, we will have got some sort of recompense for him that will go into either something to replace this season or possibly next season. But we don't know yet. But yeah, that's a nutshell there.
Connor's come back rather that than yours. Well, you should buy a house in Halifax then, shouldn't you, pal? Get your missus and move over to Fax, and you'll be at training 5 minutes in 5 minutes like Salty.
I think still late. I think he's mean your haircut.
Fair
his haircut, yeah, and I kind of agree, to be honest. I think there's only James Salton style with worse hair than Rick, to be honest. Peter Wood, there were some changes this week. Simon Grix on SoundCloud. I've not seen that. He was frustrated after being 14-4 up and indicate change to come. Fair enough. Yeah, as I say, we are in a position now, and I think we've mentioned it in the last couple of weeks, where we're in a position now, if you're not playing to your maximum capability, then there's players who are going to come in. player's going to come in and do a job, and it keeps players on their toes really. So obviously we just mentioned Connor Davis come in.
Yeah,
he's hardly played. He's come in, played really well, and he's got the shirt now. So hopefully, he keeps that, or other players that are there will take that shirt and play extremely well there.
We've spoken as well about the need to get the combinations firing for the playoffs. We need to get a halfback pairing now and stick with it for the rest of the year. And I think Connor and Liam are going to be the ones that we absolutely have to go with, personally. And as he says here, he felt sick watching mates. Shows the character for them to dig a win out.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're raring to go now, Robbo, because it's been a long time out of the team. You're back fit and ready to go. You just need to wait on selection, and that extra sort of spring in your step will sort of propel us up.
Well,
really.
It's coming into a winning team now. I'm not saying there's any correlation between Robinson being injured and us winning games, but not that at all. But the whole mood of the team, the club, the fans, and that is completely different. And then he's coming in, and if he can hit his straps, like we know that he can play, then it'll be absolutely fantastic.
Well,
and
I think we mentioned, didn't we, in the previous podcast about how there were times when Liam and Connor and Woody were sort of linking together, where it didn't matter who was running the lines or who was receiving the pass. The depth that we had in our attack would have beaten anyone.
Yeah.
The perfect structure. So I think that's where we are at our best. We've sort of cobbled it together, and obviously Grix has stood up, and obviously Liam's done all these fantastic game-winning things to become the hero of Halifax. But we signed Connor Robinson to play halfback. If he's fit and available, he needs to be playing half.
Yeah, I agree. He's got you got some catching up to do on your mate there, Connor.
Yeah.
Liam Harris is taking all the highlights there. You need to come in and get stuck in. You need to catch up to him. We're getting comments about different things here. What time are we on? We've been on for about half an hour now, have we? 20 odd minutes. Right. So about halfway through, we'll carry on. Let's segue, Sean, because
we've got plenty of stuff still to talk about.
Oh, we're right. Yeah.
So I'd say Sam and Matthew, we are going to talk about those two things, but just a little bit later on. We want to stick with the Bulls game because obviously big crowd in for the first time in donkey's years, it seemed, and all the pre-match stuff that were going on. What did you guys make of all the pre-match stuff? I thought the band were outstanding. I thought having the stilt walkers were good. The kids seemed to be into it, and another big shout out to our mate Jamie Gray giving the flags out to the kids and stuff. That had a massive impact. But I think having a big crowd in the atmosphere that it generated was outstanding.
It was just a good vibe. It was just good energy, really. To quote two Love Island phrases there, I just thought it was just a really, really good atmosphere all round. Before everyone, it was just as if everyone had breathed a big sigh of relief that we're back to normality now. Big derby game, and it was great to see. Really good to see. And I noticed loads more younger fans there. Like at the back of the stand, we had a load of like teenage lads, and that's really, really good to see. And then I noticed that there were a few youngsters at the face painting bit with Jade, who were painting the faces and stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And I did think there should have been probably a little bit more than 2,600 or something.
I think that was what they sort of gave us an estimate. I don't think they've done the returns and stuff yet.
Right, but regardless, it was so good to see a fuller East stand, healthy East stand, plenty of Bradford fans coming over on that North stand, and a lot in South stand as well. And the atmosphere, it was so loud. It was really, really loud. Obviously, I was right in the middle of it, so you can't really gauge that. But you over in the East stand, but were we as loud as we thought?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the fact that big derby game and they're going at each other from each end, it sort of gets lost in the middle at times. You think, oh, they're really quiet, and they think you're really quiet, but it's because the sound that you're generating from each end just, like I say, amalgamates into the middle of the field. So on that pitch, it must have been absolutely bouncing, and I think that's all when we went over and you saw the celebrations, it was just like Cloud 9, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, and I know players in the pub afterwards did say it were really, really loud, and as you can hear from my voice, I was a part of that. So yes, long may it continue. Again, as I say, it shouldn't. Hopefully, it's not just a one-shot deal. Is all this effort before the game? Hopefully, it just returns again and again and again. What I really don't want on Sunday is that people turn up with the it's only Newcastle mentality.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be a big lull because it's not a derby game. It's not such an important game in terms of league position and stuff, but we still need to keep winning. We still need to keep the momentum going and stuff, and we need to create that atmosphere every game now, regardless of where we are, regardless of who we're playing, and hopefully that does continue because I absolutely loved it. It was what we've been missing for the last 18 months, and yeah, long may it continue.
Yeah, it lived up to its pre-match billing, did it? The thing as well, with obviously we're probably not going to go to Toulouse, as we all know, so we'll have a week off after this week, so we can put everything into this 1 week, have a big game, big atmosphere again, have a week to sort of regenerate, and then go all out for the last, 6 or 7 games before the playoffs. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with the turnout. I hope if anyone's watching that hadn't been before or whatever, that you get down Sunday and back the lads again, because as they say, the crowd have a massive impact on them, but they're having a massive impact on us by the performances they're putting on.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's like that gladiator thing that they're coming out going, "Are you not entertained?"
Yeah, it's very much a two-way thing. It's that the players will rise to the occasion if the fans do as well, but the fans will rise to the occasion if the players do as well. So it's totally cyclical. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. As I say, it would have been a shame to lose that game, but I'd have still had a belt in time because it's what we've all missed. It's like what we were saying back in February, and that it's just kind of like, I'd still take a loss if imagine it's just complete chalk and cheese, summer sunshine, drum going crazy, Halifax beating Bradford, as opposed to February cooped up in the cold watching us lose to Batley and being knocked out in the cup.
5 people crowded around one laptop.
Yeah, and
the weather as
and
well.
Stuff. Yeah,
for the forecast that it was, the weather smiled on us that day as well. So
yeah,
it was just a perfect storm all around, wasn't it? And the boys rewarded us with a famous win. I mean, it's a shame that you couldn't have heard the audio on the last try of the game because it just erupted, didn't it? You know.
Yeah, we can hear it on the Bradford one, and Mick Gledhill did come out with some good lines there. Must doff my hat off to him, breaking Bradford hearts and all that. It was true, and as I say, to say that Bradford don't care about that derby, they sure were disappointed in that loss, and they were celebrating when they thought they'd won as well. So. Yes, apparently Bradford don't care about Halifax, but I think they found the level now. I think they realise that they're not going up to Super League anytime soon. They're not going to rekindle that Leeds derby. This is where they're meant to be, not Super League. And derby matches against us, as we said in the podcast in the week, they're never boring. There's hardly any blowouts.
There hasn't been a boring one in 30 odd years.
Yeah, there's no blowouts. 3 points difference on Sunday. I can't
1
remember.
point, 4 points difference between 2 league games is bananas, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's long may it I'm going to say it again, long may it continue there. Let's see if there's any more comments regarding that game there. If not, we will move on to stuff there. Right, breaking news today. Yeah, Fev getting 2 points deducted, as Sam Beavers has told us there. Thanks very much for that, Sam. Makes the league very interesting now. We still don't necessarily know how much of an impact that will have because it's all points, win percentage and all that jazz. But they have been punished for breaking COVID regulations and all that sort of stuff. It just brings them closer to us because they lost against Toulouse on Sunday, and then they also play Batley this weekend. And Batley, I noticed the table today. They've snuck well under the radar to get up there. I was impressed when they beat us in the cup, to be honest, and also when they got close to us at Mount Pleasant as well. I think they're a decent side of Batley, and they are knocking off teams. And I say it will be a very interesting game at Batley, but I do fear a backlash. I do fear a Fev backlash. I think they're going to close ranks and they're going to think it's Fev against the world and that sort of stuff. Yeah, always the victims, never their fault. I think it's just going to be a bit siege mentality, and they're just going to go hell for leather for it. I think Batley are going to be on the end of a spanking, if I must admit, but it'll still be a cracking game.
I think it could be the other way around, really, because Batley will sort of feel aggrieved that because, those 2 points have been deducted from Fev because of what happened.
Of course.
Their players played against Batley where they got the win, so Batley are missing the 2 points that would have or potentially could have put them right on our heels. So I think Batley will be thinking we need to go and turn these over, for the sake of a bit of revenge there. So yeah, you're right, Adam. It should be an absolutely cracking match, that one. It says here.
Yeah, and also, we play Fev in a few weeks, and that is going to be, if we keep on winning, and let's say Batley do us a favour on the weekend, it's going to be an absolute corker over there. We could make second, but I've got a theory about that, which I'll go on to in a little bit. We are getting comments on the game now. We'll just tie in. Peter Wood said, Aronson and Robinson should play at halfback for me. Griggs played well for a spell. We're missing Robinson's kicking and pace. Scott Griggs having a go at McComb, not cool. He busted a good to get back. Yeah, I noticed that when I was watching highlights before, and he's kind of right in what he's saying is Griggsy there, that he should be in position, but I think McComb was trying to chase back on the other side of the field. It does kind of show his inexperience in terms of playing on the wing, but heat of battle and that sort of thing, should you really have a 36-year-old fullback playing halfback, exposed in that sort of position? I don't know.
He's a facts lad, You were saying earlier, do those lads know what it means to us? That proves it, because
exactly.
they were absolutely fuming about it.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think there'll be any grudges there at all. So it's all in the heat of battle, and you do get that in games there, really. Just to kind of go back onto Adam's comment there, he said, if Fev Batley will be a cracking match, they'll lose, we win. We could see a shift of momentum that we have and we have not seen in a long time. It's all about momentum, and it's kind of like what I said before about we've just got to keep winning games. I've mentioned it like on group chats that we're part of. As long as we keep winning, that's all that matters.
Yeah, let the rest sort itself
exactly.
out.
Yeah. If we do our job and win scruffily needs be and that sort of thing, as long as we're getting those 2 points on the board and the win percentage up, that's all that matters to me, really. And I'm sure that's the message that Simon Griggs will be saying to the players as well. It's so tempting to look at other sides and look at Fev and that sort of thing, but it would be typical Halifax to go and lose to Newcastle this week. I'm sure it won't happen, because I think we're different now. Yeah. But it would be typical old Halifax to play so well and win against Bradford, and then take his eye off the ball and lose against Newcastle in a game where we should really win. But let's hope not. So let's not be negative.
Well, I think that loss, that the typical old Halifax loss that we seem to have every year, was Oldham, wasn't it? When everyone were calling for him to be sacked and that, and then look what's happened with the turnaround.
Look how it's been turned round. And I don't like to say I told you so. I love to say I told you so. I knew that would be the bottom mark. It would all be uphill from here, all going up from there. And it's proved right. And you look at I looked the other night at the Oldham highlights and the Batley highlights, and it's just like watching a completely different team. It's you just don't recognise them in that, and they have done so well to come out the other side, because it was touch and go. I reckon there'll have been some conversations behind closed doors and stuff to think, bloody hell, do we need to change things round, really? And like Griggsy said himself, he was getting some stick publicly and that. But as I say, fans have got a right to wear their views and completely take that on board, but we've also got a right to be smug and say we told you so.
I wouldn't say that the fans have a right to have a go at a coach in front of his kids. So
no.
That was absolutely shocking.
Not.
And whoever that is, if you're watching, you want to be ashamed.
I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is that, like, for things like this, if people say that Griggs should go and all that sort of stuff, absolutely fine. The fans have got a right to say that, but as I say, we've got a right to say, I told you so. So, so yes, Adam Patch said BBC shows 85% win ratio for Fev.
What, you think the BBC are that up to date? I mean, they'll sort it out, mate. They have to put another column in, don't they?
We need to kind of know how they're going to administer this, because the points deduction means no, really. It's about win percentage. Are they going to take a win off them to lower the win percentage?
I would assume so.
You'd have thought that anyway.
I thought it was an absolute joke. They put a statement out which said, like, the alleged incident, and then everyone were like, well, here's a picture of it, Yeah.
So, and the way that
they've handled it very poorly, but like you said, they always seem to have that mentality of, it's us against the world, everyone hates us, but we don't care. It's about time you live and die by the sword. If you're going to do something stupid, you have to pay for it. And look at us, like I said, players were out in pub with us, fair, you silly buggers. If you'd have just waited a few weeks, you could have done it all and everyone would have been fine, you know.
True. The way that they said that they didn't have CCTV and then magically the CCTV appeared and that, it just stunk to me. But hey, hope that's what RFL have done, and hopefully it will. It'll mean that we get close to second, really. Paul Cunliffe, typical Super League fan. Why is it when people talk about all winter games, they always say, ooh, that game at Batley versus whoever? He always thinks like that against the Saints. Yep, I still think that there as well. But yeah, Batley. If you haven't gone for a long time, Paul, I would definitely recommend going to Batley now because it's a great ground. That was ages ago, by the way. The ground has improved beyond recognition from probably the last time you went there. So, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, Paul, is get to a championship game, Super League and all that. Championship's where it's at. By the scores that you saw on the weekend, the table, how it's been framed, it's been absolutely brilliant. And as I say, it's the best league in my opinion. I'm not even being biased over that.
I've said for years, every Super League team, they always say, "Oh, we don't want relegation." It'll do you some good to get relegated and go down to the Championship because you remember what rugby league's supposed to be about rather than just being about being on Sky on a Thursday night and whatever. To go to places like Batley and Dewsbury and Fax, you get to meet the people. You don't have all the restrictions that you have with Super League where Warrington's bar shuts at half-time or like. You can have as many pies and pints at Batley as you can, stomach. So, yeah, look at it. Humbled Hull KR when they came down. It humbled Cass a few years ago, though they've been up so long now.
It humbled Bradford as well when they came down. And I tell you what, it did as well. Leeds. And when Leeds played in the middle eights, they absolutely loved it. They loved coming to Halifax, and the fans told me that they loved going to all the grounds they hadn't been to before and stuff. And they realised that there is life outside Super League. It just needs exposure. But I don't want to go into a completely different area. But the Championship does need exposure. It needs to. We need to show what it's like, how good it is, really. And we all know that. It's just that the wider world needs to know that. Craig Emsall, thanks for listening, Craig. Scott Griggs has the passion, so why he acts like that? And he has added the leadership we were missing. Harry seems to have played better with him. Yeah, completely. It's like what you were saying there, Rick, about his passion about being a fax lad and stuff like that. He's a senior member of the side. He's part of the coach. Is it one of the assistant coaches as well? Yeah. He's obviously... He's passionate. If he wasn't passionate, I don't think he'd be playing because I'm sure at 36 his body's probably telling him, stop now, please stop. But he's carrying on, and that word leadership definitely what we were missing. Leadership in a role which we needed there, really, because at full. Personally, I think his legs have gone for fullback. Woody's got that position sewn up. I think he should stay away from fullback. At halfback, we can take things a little bit slow. There's not that much of a demand to go running around all over the place. I think he fits in there perfectly. And you're absolutely right what you're saying there, Craig. I think Harris has found his perfect foil to get into the groove that we all knew that he had. Now, the $1 million question is whether Simon Griggs puts Connor Robinson back in there. Now that Harris has found his groove, he can let Robinson go, right, you look after the kicking and stuff. They can actually find a really good blend between them, really.
It's tough, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Some compromise, but as we've spoke about loads of times on this, we've managed to put Pudge to 13, and I've seen people saying, put Robinson as a bench hooker and all that sort of stuff. So there's plenty of stuff we can do, but I really think he needs to put his neck on the line and be like, right, this is my half-back pairing, regardless, and if Robbo don't get picked, which I think he should, I think it should still be Robinson and Harris. Yeah. Is he going to drop his brother? Can he fit him in somewhere else? Will injuries sort of take that decision away from him? We don't know. We'll have to wait to see when the squad's announced on Friday. But
I remember when we did the interview with him for the podcast, was it late last year? And he said he loves the pressure that comes with it. He's come to Halifax to be the halfback. He's done his moving around. He wants to come and play halfback, and I completely agree. I think he needs to play now. Where that fits in with Scott Griggs or whoever, I don't know, but I think it needs to happen there because, as I said before, our attack just seems a little bit one-dimensional in parts, but we don't know what goes on in training and that sort of thing. And you've got to say that Bradford threw everything into it, so That's the thing there. Paul Cunliffe said that 18th of December 1994 was the last time I went to Batley. So yes, come again to Batley. Not we are Batley podcast.
Come to the Share when Batley play us. Never mind out else.
Yeah, exactly. But Batley, he's one of my favourite grounds in Mount Pleasant. I absolutely love the place. I think he's absolutely brilliant. For what they've done with it in that space, they've made it into a really lovely ground and a really nice, welcoming place to go. And it's absolutely brilliant there. Nathan Field has come up with an absolute belter of a question. What position, in our opinion, do we need to bolster?
Can I start on this one?
Go for it.
Second row. I think we've only got real 2 second rowers. They've played a lot of games over a long time. I think it'd be good to get someone in to sort of give us an option there. But also, obviously, since Hewitt went back to Huddersfield, we've been missing that. So
who's playing second row at the moment? We've got Garside
and Kavanagh.
Right.
Who've been outstanding. And I mean, big shout out for Cav as well. He had a really good game against his former club.
Since he's come back in at second row, he's been a completely different player. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's proved me wrong, for sure, definitely, because I thought his days were numbered. Really. I wouldn't have put him in my 17. Now I put him straight in that starting.
You can't drop him.
No,
can you,
he's been played absolutely brilliant.
But I would like us to have the option there that if we did get any sort of injuries in that position, that we'd have some cover. I mean, getting Hewitt back, if there's any possibility of that, would be fantastic. But I'd say second row for me.
I'd say halfback myself. I think as cover. I think trying to fit square pegs into round holes or rounded square pegs into rounded holes is tricky, really. And as well as Scott Griggs has played there, and as good as we know Conor Robinson can be there, we just need cover in that sort of thing. I think everywhere else in the field, I take your point on second row, but we can fill the players. Tangat can play second row.
Yeah.
Fairbank can play second row.
Davis.
Morris can play there. And the pack is so interchangeable, it's ridiculous. They are so, apart from Murray, who is an out-and-out prop, I think they can play kind of anywhere, really. But I think we need an half-back and possibly an outside back as well.
I would say full-back, if anything, because obviously if it is the case that Woody's going to miss any amount of time, like you've already said that Griggs' legs have gone for full-back, do we look to bring someone in with a bit of X factor that we can get out of the back that can create something from nothing?
Do we put Salty there? He's played there before. I love Salty at fullback, but he says he's a winger. He wants to play a wing. Yeah. I love Salty at fullback, but again, we don't know.
This is why we don't get paid the big bucks.
Exactly. We don't know what happens behind closed doors and training fields and all that sort of stuff. There will be plans, and I'm sure they run through routines with different positions, different players in mind for that. If they don't, then they are completely missing a trick, but I'm sure that they do there. There's no more comments coming through and that sort of thing. Let's go back to an earlier comment from... Who was it from? Matthew Tallis. Thank you very much for joining us. Thoughts on the Rugby League World Cup being delayed to 2022? I'll start on this one.
Yeah, go on, because you had tickets, didn't you?
I am absolutely gutted. I can completely understand why they've done it because of what's been going on the last 18 months. And they're wanting to put on the best tournament possible, and they've come to the conclusion that the best tournament possible has to involve Australia and New Zealand, which is fair enough. I get that, but it just stinks of kowtowing to the NRL and stuff there. We had the opportunity, we as a Northern Hemisphere British, whatever sport you want to say, had the opportunity to stick two fingers up to them and say, look, rugby league is much bigger than Australian rugby league or the NRL. We actually give something about the wider game and international rugby as a whole. Forget Phil Gould, forget Peter V'landys or whatever. It is just arrogance, greed, and dictatorship that has ruled this, and I think they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. If it was nothing else going on, I would have a grain of sympathy for them. But the fact that they've sent a massive team over to the Olympics to Tokyo, where
they're having a massive wave,
exactly, and they're all getting treated in bubbles and all that sort of stuff. They are sending Australia is sending a rugby union team to Europe, to England and France, I believe.
Exactly the same
around
time.
at the same time. the Euros, the football's happened, all that sort of stuff, and yet they don't want to send players over because it messes up their own league, because they don't want to move the calendar because of the money that it makes, and it shortens their season. I think it's an absolute disgrace. And I truly, truly believe that if they're not already, that they should be seeking some sort of compensation from the NRL, Australian New Zealand Rugby League Commission, for the absolute farce it's going to create in terms of redoing this World Cup. Because if this had been in the Southern Hemisphere, I don't think Super League or whoever will be saying, right, we're not taking our players down there. If the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think it'd be like that at all.
Then, if we were like, oh, we're not taking our players, they'd be like, so what, we'll play without you.
Exactly, we should have done. We should have gone, screw you, we're going to have the best tournament possible. So what if Australia and New Zealand aren't there? Player power should, and the players need to look at themselves in the mirror as well. They need. It was only Jason Tamalolo who actually came out and said, I'm going to travel and play for Tonga in this World Cup. I think the players have lost a massive amount of respect in my eyes for that, and they are just completely self-absorbed by NRL, State of Origin, and their own backyard. Rugby league is much bigger than Australia and New Zealand. It is a worldwide sport if it is given the right chance to be so. And if we continually shoot ourselves in the foot in terms of denying a Toronto the chance to progress, denying a World Cup, denying the likes of Papua New Guinea to strut the stuff on the world stage, America want to join the party, Serbia, all these nations who want to play this fantastic game that we've got. And just because of some few self-centered individuals who want to protect their little nest egg down under in terms of the NRL, I'm not having it. I think it's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, you said like self-centered, single-minded. The fact that, like you said, they sent all the team to the Olympics and that they're going to send a union team at the same time, but they haven't thought of the implications of moving it to 2022. You've got the only time that a football World Cup is going to be played in the winter at exactly the same time. So it's leaving the game, what should be the biggest showcase tournament in history now that, you know, everyone can watch it abroad and everything, in danger of being overshadowed completely and just being another also an afterthought to the sporting calendar of people that watch it. So I think it's absolutely disgraceful, but I expect nothing else from them. You know what they're like, you know. It's such a missed opportunity.
Massive missed opportunity.
And we're living, I think that they're a bit running scared because they're all in their lockdowns down there and they're worried about the quarantines and stuff. But that's your rules. Look at us. We're having time of his life up here in Northern Hemisphere. I mean, good luck down under. But, yeah, it just stinks of self-centered, me, I.
Yeah.
And Rugby League don't need that. They've come out and sort of said, look, we do sort of want to help the international game, but actions speak louder than words, and you're not doing enough to promote the game with the finances and the backing that you have in Australia. I think the fans would have liked, even the Aussie fans would have liked to have seen the Kangaroos play. They haven't played for however long. But their first thought as well, once it was postponed, but we'll play Kiwis. You know, we'll have Kiwis. And we'll invite the South Pacific nations over, and we'll just have his own little tournament. Oh, brilliant! So that's pretty much the World Cup then. Yeah, thanks very much.
It was a chance for us to have the first massive event post-COVID with no restrictions on there whatsoever, and it's been blown. It's been bollocks. It's been sabotaged by greed. Dare I say, corruption. It is just an absolute disgrace.
Anyway, let's finish on a positive then.
I'm getting help. I know. I need to calm down. Let's wind down and let's kind of finish off the comments, but also look forward to this Sunday in terms of Newcastle. Peter Wood says, could do the subscription channel for Championship Rugby similar to our league. It's quite a competitive league that needs more respect and exposure. I believe that the Championship tried to break away and garner a deal with Premier Sports, but that's kind of gone quiet. A lot of it hinges on this deal with Sky at the end of 2021. Don't know, but more people talk about it, and more guys like us have a platform to talk about it. Let's say we are Halifax fans, but we are Rugby League fans in general. As I keep saying, it's a Rugby League podcast with just a hint of Halifax Panthers. As long as we keep talking about it, as long as the product is brilliant, it produces the matches that we see, we can't be ignored. It cannot be ignored. The playoffs are being shown on Sky, including the grand final, wherever that might be. So that's good. That's a good thing, because that hopefully it's not just shoved on as an afterthought. I think it was last year or the year before where they showed it was on Sunday nights, and I think that's a great time to have it on. Yeah. I think that's a really good time to have Championship Rugby on, because Sunday's a day where most people have a day off and stuff. And finishing late on a Sunday, it's not that worst thing in the world, really. Sunday 6 o'clock kickoff ain't necessarily that bad.
I'm not too sure I agree with that. Like, let the full-time pros play when they can have their leisurely swim on a Monday morning, not the lads going on building sites who are going to have a late night, getting back to wherever they are, a couple of hours sleep, and then getting up and going to work.
But the thing is that if you do move
Saturday
it around,
afternoon for me.
Premier League football, you get dominated by football, and a lot of rugby league fans will choose football in terms of that, because season tickets and commitment for football is a hell of a lot more expensive than rugby league, and that's unfortunately that's what we are. And again, going back to the World Cup, it just shows us a second-rate sport that we can just kowtow to individual organisations, where it's just going to be paint a picture of rugby league secondary sport. And that's what the Championship is within rugby league. Championship is seen as kind of the second rate.
Look at darts, when darts became a massive thing. That were on Thursday nights at the same time as Super League. Were they going, we can't have a darts competition on telly because Saints are playing bloody Wakefield?
No,
they didn't give two shits.
And when Championship Rugby was on Sky, it got more viewing figures than the darts at the time. So people will watch it. Maybe we need to go back to Thursday nights. We need to find a way that it works. And player consultation has to come into that for sure.
Absolutely. I just want to go back to Pete's point about the subscription channel. The problem that you have is you need the initial investment to get the cameras and the equipment to put it all out there. You need someone to put the money up to set it all up before you can then charge your subscription service. So it's definitely something that should be looked at, but it would take joined up thinking from the RFL and... anyway, let's finish positively then. So Newcastle this weekend. What do we make of this one, Aga?
Nice segue. It should be a comfortable win, really. We won comfortably up there. We shut them out up there. Hopefully we get the same this weekend. Hopefully it's just another momentum. We just carry on that momentum going forward, and it's another 2 points there, really.
I reckon we'll get a different team to the last one we saw up there. I think they were struggling for injuries at the time. I think they've got some back now, but I would still expect our lads to be flying high in training all week. And like I said, they've got a weekend off afterwards, so they can just go absolutely full throttle at it and give everything, and then have a nice rest after that. So if the crowd get behind them, I can't expect Newcastle to bring that many. So let's hope that the crowd get behind us and cheer us on to another. What will it be? 10 in a row? Hopefully.
9 in a row.
9 in a row.
It'll be 9 in a row, yeah. But yeah, hopefully that is the case. And that is all she wrote. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Eventually, hopefully we'll sort it out slightly better for next week. Facebook has completely changed how we stream, and it's just a complete mess. That's why we've got a producer here who can look into that sort of stuff. Thanks, Rick, for doing this again. Thanks for everyone who's comments, and from myself, thank you very much. And as always, up the Facts Panthers.
Go on, you boys in blue.